DRC has the largest pool again. Dr. Joe, please work. Analog, analog, digital, parliament, analog. Thank you. Welcome, my brother.
Thank you very much, Meshach. Good morning, everybody. Allow me to leverage on the protocol that has already been established so that we don't bore everybody with repeating the same words. As you've been told, my name is Joe Mbalu, and I'm the Deputy Secretary General at Kenya Red Cross. And I'm here representing the Chief Executive of Kenya Red Cross, Dr. Ahmed Idris, who's the Secretary General, and unfortunately could not make it to be here, but he sends his regards. He has sent me with his speech to represent him formally. But being in this forum and being the organization that I am from, I will want first to start by congratulating UNV and congratulating all the agencies that are represented here today for the work that they are doing with volunteering. And I'm doing this with very particular reason, not just because as the Kenya Red Cross, we have been given the mandate to inculcate volunteering principles within the populations of the people in this country. But because we're very happy today, we are honored to be celebrating our 60th anniversary as a national society present in Kenya. And we'll be very happy to invite you once we are done with planting trees to come celebrate with us. And also on the occasion of this lounge, karibu sana. As a member of VIO, we are also celebrating and marking our annual Volunteer Award ceremony at Kenya Red Cross for the year 2025, as we also commemorate our 60th anniversary. And again, to congratulate the UN body for recognizing the importance that volunteers play and setting aside the year 2026. So we're very excited to be part of this as a movement. But even as we celebrate, I will want to start by pointing out a somber mood. That for us, even as we celebrate, we are also a bit sad that a very dangerous trend seems to be emerging with regard to volunteering. We are fortunate or unfortunate enough as a Red Cross working within the humanitarian sector to be involved in conflicts. And the year 2024 and 2025, unfortunately, we are marking those as the deadliest years for volunteers. We have lost an unprecedented number of humanitarian workers in the line of duty in the year 2024, and more than 300 actually humanitarian workers dying in 42 countries last year. This year, as of today, we are already past the 200 persons mark of volunteers losing their lives in the line of duty. And this is not a trend that we are very happy to be alive while it's happening. So as we stand here today, our request from the Red Cross movement, from the International Red Cross movement, and on behalf of volunteers and humanitarian workers, especially those that are involved in conflicts, we want to ask that we join hands in condemning this very dangerous trend that is starting, and hope that we'll be able to put an end to this, because nobody should lose their life in the line of trying to assist others who need their assistance. So thank you very much for that. I will proceed to read the written speech from my boss, from Dr. Idris. And it goes, colleagues, as we gather on this International Volunteer Day 2025, and as we mark the launch of the International Year of Volunteers, honoring 6 decades as a national society of global solidarity, driven by ordinary people whose kindness changes lives as they conduct extraordinary things. Today, we recognize not only the power of volunteering, but its global scale. Across continents, this day reminds us that millions step forward to serve. The voice of our movement echoes in flood zones, in refugee camps, in hospitals, in community centers, from Nairobi to New Delhi, from Beirut to Bogota. In that spirit, the International Red Cross, Red Crescent movement stands proud of its volunteers, past, present, and future, and volunteers in any other organization. Every first responder, every community worker, every youth who chooses to care. But we must reckon with a hard truth. Volunteering carries risk. Humanitarian workers around the world face dangers, conflict, disease, disasters. In recent years, report shows dozens of aid workers and volunteers lost their lives while answering the call. We count this cost not to diminish our pride, but to recommit ourselves to safety, to protection, and to care for those who serve. So this year of the volunteers will double down on responsibility. We will invest in training, in protective equipment, in mental health, and in physical safety. To this regard, and in collaboration with the government of Kenya, the Kenya Red Cross has committed, as part of the commemoration of this year, that they will train 300,000 young people in first aid to increase the number of people that are able to serve in that area. We will strengthen support so volunteers can serve with dignity, full of hope, and not fear. 60 years has built our foundation. This International Volunteer Day reminds us why we must build stronger. Let us honor our past with gratitude. Let us honor our volunteers by keeping them safe, supported, and ready to deliver hope where it's needed the most. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for caring. And most of all, thank you all for volunteering. Asante sana.
Okay, what is the numbers? Across the country, within the 47 counties, 370. 624 million for the whole world. That is Red Cross globally. Give him the parliamentary. Parliament? 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 Parliament Tatu. Thank you. Pass our greetings to the Kenya Red Cross SG. That is beautiful. We want as many volunteers. The world needs volunteers. We need volunteers all over. Thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to move very fast. I want to also be able to recognize the presence of our peers in the midst of this beautiful gathering of volunteers across. Buona peers, feel welcome and feel as a volunteer. Don't feel like peers. Feel like a volunteer. When we go to church, we say, feel like the feet of Jesus. When we go elsewhere, we say, feel like that place. But here, please feel like a volunteer. Madam Ambassador, feel like a volunteer. Yes, you can volunteer to take some of our volunteers to China and bring back with a lot of experience. Thank you. And we also want to recognize the presence of the Deputy Ambassador of Burundi, who joined us when we had just started. Please feel welcome. Burundi is home. Just feel like you are in Burundi or feel like you are in Kenya. Thank you. Allow me to call quickly the next person. And because I understand there is a lot of engagement that is going on with our peers. I would like to bring on stage the Deputy Executive Coordinator for UNV. Put your hands together for analog first. Analog, analog, digital, digital, digital. I think she's more digital. Oh, you want parliament? You are more digital. Another one more digital. Digital, welcome. Thank you.
Great. Mr. Joseph Watani, Permanent Secretary for Labor and Social Protection. Excellency Ambassador of China, Madame Guo. Dear Undersecretary General and Head of UNON, Madame Zainab Bangura. Dear Acting Resident Coordinator, UNDP Representative to Kenya, Jean-Luc Stallon, who is also my brother in having joined the United Nations system as a UN volunteer once upon a time. Dear partners in the private sector and other volunteer involving organization, I'm learning that term, and dear members of the media, and last but not least, dear volunteers, a very, very happy International Volunteer Day to you all. Today, we honor the millions across the globe who serve their communities and advance the greater good. This year's theme, Every Contribution Matters, it reminds us that everyone has something meaningful to offer and that volunteering is a global force for resilience and sustainable development. I'm really excited and honored to be here today and to join you in welcoming this International Volunteer Year for Sustainable Development in 2026. And I want to wholeheartedly commend the government of Kenya for its leadership and commitment on volunteerism in the African region and beyond, not least as the co-sponsor of the resolution that led to the proclamation of 2026 as International Volunteer Year. But thank you also for the organization of this truly multi-stakeholder and multinational launch. You might wonder why this is not the colors of the flag of Kenya, right? This is the color of the Ivy logo, as we call it for short. So this is I guess, the global nation that unites us as volunteers. And today at UN headquarters in New York, member states are also, they're actually holding the global official launch of Ivy 2026, as we call it, in the presence of the UN Secretary General and other member states and global leaders. Throughout next year, we hope that many member states and nonprofit organizations will put the spotlight on the transformative power of volunteering in addressing challenges of sustainable development. And each country has its own story of volunteering. Kenya stands out as a champion of volunteerism with a history written in the language of collective care, the spirit of Harambee. Let's pull together. Has long driven volunteer-led initiatives, building schools, planting trees, and supporting their neighbors. Kenya is among the largest host countries of UN volunteers, with 463 people serving this year across 24 UN entities. And many Kenyan talents are also serving as volunteers in other countries. I'm sure there's some in China, as was mentioned. Kenya has a national volunteerism policy and coordination mechanism. I'm sure that contributes to the fact that we can stand here today shoulder to shoulder with private sector and civil society and all of you who are contributing to volunteering. I'm also pleased to announce that UN Volunteers today is releasing a new report called The State of the World's Volunteerism. I don't know if we have a link somewhere online or a QR code or something. I hope that can be published on our screen at some point. But it's something that we hope that you will download. Because it introduces a groundbreaking framework for measuring volunteering. The essential contribution of this work is having units and standards of measurement that help us understand the significance of volunteerism contribution. We might ask, why is that necessary? Well, because we all know that volunteerism contributes to social cohesion, to the economy and so on, but we might not understand how much. And some of the things that we have learned is that every month, more than 2 billion people somewhere around the globe are volunteering in their communities. We also learned that Africa has the highest rate of volunteerism worldwide, with 58% of the working age population volunteering every month. And much of this is actually informal, despite the fact that we have volunteer organizations represented today. But this happens in families, in villages, in youth networks, climate clubs, and so on. We learned earlier this year from the African Union's State of Volunteerism in Africa report how traditional and modern forms of volunteering strengthen resilience and development, and yet many volunteers remain invisible and undervalued, often working without resources or formal recognition. So with the new UNV report and this framework of measurement, including also an index, we can give greater visibility and recognition, and that, ladies and gentlemen, takes us back to today's theme: every contribution matters. Building on these findings, governments can develop national and subnational systems that understand, recognize, and support volunteers. And we have disaggregated data to ensure that gender, age, disability status, location, socioeconomic background, and migration status, they're no longer blind spots. And before closing, I would like to express also how excited we are that Africa region launch of IVY 2026 takes place in conjunction with the UN Environmental Assembly taking place here in Nairobi. Because across Africa, we see every day how volunteers bridge gaps across humanitarian, development, and environmental agendas. For example, in the drought-hit Horn of Africa, volunteers maintain early warning systems and repair water points. When floods or cyclones hit the Indian Ocean coastline towns, community volunteers mobilize for evacuation and relief. And urban areas across the continent, in Nairobi not least, volunteers lead waste separation and recycling in the informal settlements. So these are everyday miracles that are performed by many individuals, while global conversations drive progress. The real progress starts within communities. And today's launch sends a message that protecting environmental sustainability from the relentless threats of climate change and the exploitation of critical minerals and other issues, it demands a whole of society effort in response. And volunteers make up that crucial link between the global ambition and community reality. Once again, I thank the government of Kenya and all partners for your unwavering commitment. And I ask that we continue collaborating to make volunteers' contribution visible, valued, and supported. I thank the UN system in Kenya for helping to carry this torch and to do its part. The International Volunteer Year in 2026 is more than a celebration. It's a call to action. Together, let's make volunteering the cornerstone of a sustainable future. Asanteni sana. I'm digital because the UN is digital nowadays, right? We want to be modern.
Digital? Digital, in uniform. Digital? Digital? Parliament? Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Bwana Pierce, while you are away, we learned that volunteers don't do it like everybody else. So for the sake of the peers, please, let's go. When we say digital, analog, Parliament, Parliament. Okay, now let us learn. Digital, analog, Parliament, Parliament. Thank you. While you are away, we learned how to appreciate volunteers. So this is purely for volunteers. When you go to other meeting, let them do zile zingine. But when you come into the volunteer space, let us do this. Allow me to recognize the presence of UNON Director, Madam Bangura. Please feel welcome and know that volunteers love to be at the UN compound. continue inviting us, even if there is no International Volunteers Day. Just feel free, invite us anyhow, we will come. How many volunteers are willing to come anytime? Thank you. The hands are all up. Even the PS is willing to come. Whenever you feel like you want to invite someone, invite volunteers. We will come. Thank you very much and feel welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring to us the UNDP residents representative. This name, Jean, is it Jean? Jean. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am bringing to you the UNDP residents representative, Jean, Mr. Jean. Okay, RC, welcome. Do you want analog? UN is digital. Digital? Digital? Analog? Hey, you're analog in my language, in a car, rather. Thank you. Welcome, sir.
Wacha mimi nitawaambia which one I like. Nitawaambia tu sahi. Analog. Analog. Okay, that's good. Bwana PS, the Social Protection and Labor. Your Excellency, the Director General of UNAM, Madame Bangura. My dear Louise Chamberlain, UNDP Deputy Executive Coordinator. Colleagues from the civil society, VO, Kenya, academia, private sector. We have here the president of the Safaricom Foundation. Welcome. Our partners from the African Network for Animal Welfare, distinguished volunteers, dear colleagues. Habari ya asubuhi. Very good. You know, the thing with the UN sometimes is that we make long speeches, and quite often our speeches say the same thing. So I was struggling after Louise spoke. I was actually really removing a lot of stuff because I'm going to repeat the same thing. And in the interest of time, I will very much shorten my speech. Sorry for the RC office who kindly prepared a quite long speech. Yeah. But I want to start by saying, it was mentioned by Louise, I started my career in the United Nations in Rwanda because I'm half Rwandese and French. That's why he could not pronounce my name. Actually, it's Jean-Luc. Jean-Luc. But I started my career in 1994 in the UN after the very terrible events that happened in Rwanda. You all know that in Rwanda we had a genocide that took away so many people, took the life of so many people. And at that time, I had just finished university in France. I had started working in the private sector. And then I saw this call for volunteer, that they are looking for people to go and help after what happened. So I looked at it and I applied, and I was happily surprised that after a few weeks I got a response saying you have been selected as a UN volunteer. I didn't really know what it meant, you know, but I searched a bit and then I went to Rwanda and I started my career in the UN as a volunteer. What I can tell you is that the kind of work we were doing that time as a group of volunteers, that is something that stays with you forever. It stays with you forever. And it is exactly what Louise was saying, you know, that volunteering spirit, that feeling of belonging to a community. It's something that stays with you. So today, I'm almost 30 years now in the UN. I'm the UNDP representative. I've been UNDP representative in a couple of countries, You see, for young volunteers who are here with us, please just have that clear in your mind that there is no limit. There's no limits. From volunteer, you can move forward, you can progress, you can take responsibility, but that volunteerism will stay with you. So that's what I wanted to say as a kind of a personal note to celebrate the International Volunteer Day. So now I'm going to my speech. I'm going to the page where I feel like I can complete a little bit on what Louise already said. And I will go to where we are talking about. You see, I've removed a lot. Huh? Yes. So, dear colleagues, friends, at a time when resources across the UN system are under significant pressure, the work of UN volunteers become even more important. Volunteers extend reach. They act where we need, they act where needs are greatest. They help the UN demonstrate value and relevance in the eyes of the community we serve. In moments of funding constraint, volunteerism is not a stopgap. I think that's really important. We should not consider volunteerism as a stopgap. It is a catalytic that allows programs to maintain momentum and ambition. Looking ahead to 2026, there are several areas where Kenya and the United Nations system will work even more closely. First, we must embed volunteerism in policy and planning. This includes recognizing both formal volunteers and informal community actors whose work sustain social cohesion. Their contribution must be measured, valued, and integrated into how we plan for resilience. Second, we must strengthen partnership. Our 20 institutions are already supporting International Volunteers Year 2026. This is an encouraging signal. Volunteerism thrives when government, civil society, academia, and the private sector combine strengths. To conclude, let me conclude with a simple truth. Volunteerism may be quiet, but it is never small. Never consider what you're doing as small, because what you're doing may be quite less visible than some of the very kind of shining thing, but your work is very important and it's not small. It holds families together. It holds communities together. It holds hope together. It ensures that progress reaches those who have been waiting long for support. For that, we are grateful. To every volunteer in this room and across Kenya, thank you. Your contribution counts and your impact runs deeper than you may ever know. Asanteni sana.
Thank you. You didn't say the one you like. The digital, analog. Oh, the analog. Analog? Analog? Analog. Thank you very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we are under pressure with time and everything because our chief guest is under pressure. Bwana PS, if you allow me, I know you must run, but this would be very important. As the chair of this network, I would have loved to ask for your 5 more minutes so that you listen to the volunteer. You know, the people who have spoken here are managers. but the volunteer himself or herself to speak, and then we get the call to action from the volunteer. What do they call corporates to do? What do they call government to do? What do they want the UN agencies to do to support their work? And then you may grace the occasion, and I still have other speakers that are coming. So is that okay, Bwana PS? Thank you. I have the authority to do this. Allow me to bring Dr. Eileen Mokaya, who is the National Director for Habitat for Humanity Kenya, to run this session. They are just two volunteers who will share with us their story, their experience, and lead us to the call to action. Thank you. You want digital? Parliament? Parliament? We will meet in Parliament. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. In the interest of time, all protocols observed. As all the speakers have spoken, we cannot underrate the value of our volunteers. And to celebrate them, I'm going to call two volunteers. I'll start with Ramses Mante to at least share his experience, and then allow Stella to do the same. Ramses, you see, we're given 5 minutes and we have to make good use of the time.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. It is a true honor to be here today, and even a greater honor to be speaking in the presence of all the authorities and representatives present here today. Your presence and your interest in engaging directly with volunteers sends a powerful message to all of us about the value of service and the importance of our contribution. I would also like to recognize the incredible UNV team who make not only this event, but also this journey possible and meaningful. And Rose, Agnes, Naomi, Kevin, Jerlene, and all their colleagues. Behind every volunteer, there is a team that believes in their potential, supports their growth, and constantly opens doors for new possibilities. I started my journey as a United Nations international volunteer in February this year, working as a sustainable mobility specialist for the Industry and Economy Division of UNEP. I was selected as part of the Young Talent Pipeline, a group of 12 young professionals that come from all over the world. And while that already felt like an incredible privilege, I must admit that when I received the confirmation, I felt equally excited and terrified. This is my first international experience, not only professionally, but also personally. Before Kenya, I had never worked outside my home country, that is Ecuador in Latin America. I hadn't even traveled abroad. So arriving at the United Nations office in Nairobi felt almost unreal. It was a leap of faith into the unknown, into growth, into purpose. But I very quickly realized that UNV is not about how far you've traveled in distance. It is about how far you are willing to grow in purpose. It is about living every day the values that define the United Nations: inclusion, humanity, humility, and integrity. UNV is more than a volunteer program. In it, I have found a family away from home. In all my fellow UNVs, I've found that borders do not define impact. Age does not define leadership, and background does not define worth. Here, inclusion is real. Humanity is visible and palpable in every interaction. Humility is taught through learning and service, and integrity is expected in our words, in our actions, and in the way we represent this institution. Through my role at UNEP, I am able to support key mandates of the United Nations related to sustainability, climate action, and inclusive development. But just as importantly, I am learning to collaborate across cultures, to listen more deeply, to adapt quickly, and to serve with respect, responsibility, and honesty. To other young people who may one day be sitting or standing where I am today, or listening from afar, wondering if they are ready or qualified enough, let me tell you this. If you care, if you are curious, if you believe in a more just and sustainable world, then you already represent what the United Nations and the UNV stands for. You don't have to have everything figured out. I certainly didn't. All you need is the courage to say yes, even when your voice shakes. Because sometimes saying yes to uncertainty is the very first step into your purpose. I arrived as an individual seeking an opportunity. Through UNB, I am becoming something much bigger, a global citizen, a bridge between worlds, and a servant of a shared mission, grounded in inclusion, humanity, humility, and integrity. Thank to you, sorry, thank you to UNB, thank you to UNEP, to the Young Talent Pipeline, and to the United Nations. And thank you to everyone who believes in the transformative power of volunteering. Muchas gracias.
Our next experience is from Stella. Stella works for COPS Africa. I know volunteers, we have a lot to tell, but I hope you can be brave. Welcome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. That's more like it. What a beautiful day today is. Allow me to begin with a simple truth. Potential is often hidden in plain sight. Many times, the world overlooks the very people who carry the most heart, the most grit, and the most promise, simply because they are young. 4 years ago, I was one of those young people. I had done everything the guidebook promised. Excel in school, stay disciplined, work hard, be the best, and in return, the world would open its doors. But after graduating, those doors remained firmly shut. Every application returned with a rejection. Every interview ended with, "You need more experience." But of course, I lacked experience. I had just graduated. So you can imagine my shock. Instead of being mentored into opportunity, the system penalized me for it. Those 2 years where I struggled and tarmacked for opportunity were brutal. I was exhausted, angry, and losing hope. All I wanted was one chance for someone to say, "Let's try you." Someone who saw heart as qualification, not a weakness. That someone became COAFRICA Kenya. See, COAFRICA didn't ask what I lacked. They asked what I was willing to give. And that changed everything. For the first time, I entered into a space where they embraced everything the world dismissed. My youth, my inexperience, and my hunger to serve. I moved from feeling invisible to becoming a volunteer in Meru County, working with the community where we implemented a beekeeping project for economic empowerment and environmental conservation. A partnership-led initiative made possible by community members, local leadership, partners, philanthropists, and COAFRICA Kenya. See, volunteerism did not only rebuild me, it healed me. It gave me purpose, clarity, and the courage to audaciously dream again. It reminded me that young Africans and young people in general do not need permission to lead. We only need opportunities. And that is where you in this room matter. One of Africa's greatest challenge is brain drain. I dream of an Africa where young people are not forced to leave home in search of dignity and opportunity, where leaving home is not an act of survival, but an act of choice. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why today is very important. Currently, the world is facing a global youth opportunity crisis. As of 2023, according to the International Labour Organization, nearly 1 in 5 young people, about 260 million globally, are neither in school, nor working, nor in training. This is a global waste of potential, but volunteering can change that. We need to recognize volunteering as real work and prioritize partnerships that mobilize the youth. When we do this, we will be able to establish an ecosystem that builds resilience, retains talent, and uplifts our continent. Imagine if Co-Africa did not exist. Imagine if our founder, Liz Fanning, had not found allies who partnered with her vision. I will not be standing here today, and my story will not be possible. That is the power of creating opportunities for young people. My name is Stella Kidera, and I am proof of what can happen when we give young Africans a chance. Thank you.
So the last part of this session, we're going to have a call for action on behalf of all the volunteers. And I'm going to ask Stella to graciously read on behalf of all the volunteers.
Call to action. Embed volunteerism in national strategies and development plans. Invest in research and innovation to uncover hidden contributions and scale new models. Mobilize resources for volunteer-driven solutions to key sustainable development challenges. Mainstream volunteerism across Government of Kenya and development partner frameworks. Enhance and establish new collaborations across Government of Kenya, UN entities, private sector, and civil society to mainstream volunteerism in their strategic action plans, to recognize, promote, and facilitate volunteers as key players to the Government of Kenya's national development agenda. We, volunteers of Kenya, supported by the Government of Kenya and key stakeholders, including the United Nations system, private sector, civil society, and volunteers, will champion International Volunteer Year 2026 as a transformative movement for sustainable development. Together, we declare we are International Volunteer Year 2026. We commit to volunteer for the people and the planet. Your contribution matters.
From what I can see, I can guess you are digital. You even read from the phone. Digital? Digital? Digital. Thank you. I think we are getting to the point where we want to bring our chief guest of the day because of the time and other meetings that are so pressing. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to bring Dr. Lynette, who is our focal person from the Government of the Republic of Kenya, to bring to us the chief guest. And remember, we still have other partners to come after this. It is only because the PS has to attend to other duties. So Dr. Lynette, you want digital? Analog? Analog? True, analog.
So to our chief guest, our principal secretary, Honorable Joseph Motari, riding on the protocols already established. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, we will have to reorganize our program and we will start with the launch. We will launch the International Year of Volunteerism 2026. And then after our chief guest will leave, we will continue with our celebration of the International Day of Volunteerism. Is that okay? Yeah, so our chief guest, amongst us here, we have officers from the State Department for Social Protection. I'll kindly ask you to wave. There are quite a number. We are here to celebrate this day. We have our guests from the UN organizations. Please, let's see the ones who are present. We have our private sector who are here. Safaricom Foundation, quite a number are here. We have the volunteer involving organizations. Yes. We have the volunteers themselves, volunteers. And to believe everyone is a volunteer in your own space, yeah? Today morning, we were at TV 47 and we said everyone is a volunteer. At some point in your life, you've been able to volunteer. All the guests who were invited, we acknowledge you and we appreciate your presence. Let me also thank the National Planning Committee. The National Planning Committee led by our technical officer, Emily Kimosop, Kevin, Frank, and yes, and everyone else, if I don't mention you by name, we really appreciate the planning that went into this day. You can see how wonderful it is, and it's because of you, so we really appreciate you. So let me take this opportunity to invite our chief guest. He'll tell us which one do you want? Digital? Analog. So let's do analog. Tena. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Thank you so much. I didn't know there was a training before I came in, but I want to start by excusing myself because this is not how I behave. I like finishing meetings. I like also enjoying meetings with others and sharing quite a lot. But I must have a meeting in the State House this time. And today, it looks like everybody has driven and brought a car into the road. And there are many, many cars and the traffic is terrible. Allow me, I have tried to see whether I can reduce. It was not possible. But Louise did finish almost everything. Actually, I almost said she has done it. So we were meant to just have left at that level. However, because of what I have to do, then that means I have to repeat what the other speakers have already said. Louise Chamberlain, UNV Deputy Executive Coordinator, Zainab Hawa Bungura, Director General, United Nations Office in Nairobi, Mr. Jean Louis, there, that one. You have understood what I want to say. Ambassador Guo, volunteers and the volunteer involving organizations, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, a good morning again. I really like what all of you have said here. When I was young, I want to give you this story before I read I repeat what has been said here. When I was young, back home, we used to till land. We used to till land. When we used to till land, there was no payment. We would be invited, the entire village, go to the farm, till the farm and do it nicely, weed it well. And all we would be given is a meal. And that, in that case, a local meal. And that was it. Then you go home, and willingly we would do it. However, today, this is not the case. We are losing volunteerism as we go along. Especially in our local communities, we are seriously losing the whole thing. Everything you want a young person to do, that young person will require a payment. I don't know whether this is only where I come from, but that is what is happening now. I really want to applaud our volunteers, what you are doing. It's really, really very good that you are able to volunteer. As a principal secretary in charge of volunteerism in this nation, we are losing it as we go along. That is why it is our responsibility, all of us, to come up and see whether we can resuscitate what we are losing. Back home, I sent a young man, please go get me water from the river. I assure you, that young man or young lady, the next question he'll ask me or she will ask me is, at how much? Ningapi? Hii ni tender, for those who understand that language. So we are losing it. Number two, I wanted to mention before I go to this speech that we need to quantify. We need to quantify what our volunteers are doing. Because what our volunteers are doing is huge. And it goes just unnoticed, and the volunteers are there, so what? And that is why we are coming with the legal framework to make sure that we capture what these good people called volunteers are doing. But I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if we are not keen, we are losing volunteerism, especially in the rural areas. And I'm sure even in the town areas, the cities and the urban areas, we are losing it. So we have really to be careful to make sure that we don't lose this. I am honored to join you today at the United Nations Complex for the global launch of the International Year of Volunteers for Sustainable Development 2026. This occasion marks a renewed global commitment to a powerful force that strengthens nations, transforms communities, and accelerates development. Volunteerism in Kenya is deeply rooted in the spirit of Harambee, as Luis mentioned. Our ethos of shared responsibility and collective progress. Over time, this tradition has evolved into organized community of efforts, faith-based initiatives, civil society action, international cooperation, and structured government-led programs. Today, volunteerism flourishes across all 47 counties, powered by people of all ages, abilities, and backgrounds, for those who practice that. But if, as I said, we have to be keen on this for us not to lose our volunteerism efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, our journey towards structured volunteerism began with the National Volunteerism Policy of 2016, Kenya's first framework for coordinating and recognizing volunteer work. Building on this foundation, my State Department has made significant progress in strengthening the legal and policy environment that supports and protects volunteers while safeguarding the rights of vulnerable populations. Over the past 2 years, we have delivered key national policies and legislation, including the Social Protection Policy 2023 and the Social Protection Act 2025, which firmly anchor social assistance, social security, and shock responsive interventions in law. We have also spearheaded the Persons with Disability Policy 2024 and the Persons with Disability Act 2025, both of which enhance inclusion, advance accessibility, and uphold the dignity and rights of persons with disabilities, whom, of course, you know about the caregivers, that our persons with the disabilities are people who need to be supported, not with a fee, but volunteerism. Today, we are developing a new forward-looking volunteerism policy that addresses emerging issues such as digital transformation, environmental sustainability, and climate resilience. This policy has undergone extensive stakeholder validation. As we advance to the next phase, we invite all partners to continue working with us. Beyond policy reforms, the State Department continues to strengthen flagship programs that rely heavily on community engagement and volunteer support. One such program is our Inua Jamii Cash Transfer, where caregivers and community volunteers play a central role in identifying vulnerable households, supporting registration and enrollment, and ensuring that beneficiaries remain connected to essential services. Over the past 2 years, we have made notable progress under the cash transfer, popularly known as Inua Jamii. We have onboarded 500,000 new eligible beneficiaries, cleared long-standing backlogs, and shifted fully to timely, transparent payments through our digital platform and M-Pesa, greatly involving efficiency and accountability. These achievements reflects the strength of community-driven systems and the vital role of volunteers and the caregivers in reaching households that need support most. Ladies and gentlemen, as we usher in the International Year of Volunteers, Kenya stands ready to lead. We commit to strengthening systems and institutions, expanding opportunities for citizen engagement, and deepening collaboration with partners across all sectors. Above all, we commit to honoring, supporting, and protecting our volunteers. When I came in, the speaker who was here, I heard him say that we have lost 200 of our volunteers. That is quite unfortunate, very unfortunate. These are people who are giving themselves to serve, and then they lose their lives. It's quite unfortunate. That must not be allowed to happen. Our distinguished delegates, allow me to pay special tribute to the Kenya Red Cross Society as it marks 60 years of remarkable services. Its volunteers continue to demonstrate courage, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to humanity. We celebrate their legacy and reaffirm our partnership. And you'll agree with me that the volunteering services that the Red Cross has done to this nation globally is enormous. In every volunteer across the country and around the world, we celebrate you. You are the hands of service, the voices of hope, the guardians of our environment, and the drivers of progress. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, I extend heartfelt appreciation to all partners, volunteer involving organizations, development agencies, academia, civil society, and government institutions represented in the National Planning Committee for your dedication to this process and your enduring commitment to volunteerism. With these remarks, I officially launch the International Year of Volunteers for Sustainable Development 2026. Asanteni sana, and thank you. May God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, our chief guest. He said he loves the analog, so let's give him the analog clap. And because he's a chief guest to all of us, the youths, let's do the digital. Tena, parliamentarians. Let's do it again. Yes. We want to do the launch. So I'll want to invite our peers to lead us in the launch. And I will invite the guests present, our ambassador, China, our deputy ambassador for Burundi, all the guests who are at the front here, please join our peers. Please join our peers, and we will want the youth volunteers to also come to the front.
Thank you. Thank you. From the government, our peers will lead and the ambassador. From the UN agencies, we have Deputy Executive Coordinator, we have DG, we have RC, or is it RR or RC? Both. Okay. Across. DJ and the team, are you ready to give us Mbwembwe? Okay, okay. Inside here, thank you. This is, yeah, come. This come. Yes, this is your home. So, cameras, are you ready? As the okay, we know these ones will shoot, so don't say they had a bomb in Kenya. Okay, we will go to count. Yeah, we will count from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Thank you. I warned you it will shoot. So thank you. So inside we have 8, sorry, it's okay. Inside we have 8 spaces, and our team in front will lead. Bwana PS, RC, you will lead us to make your signatures there. Or yes, there is still one more there. Okay. And then we also have a board where all others will be able to sign. So the PS is giving us the signature. Kindly go ahead. You lead from the top there. Yes. Give the space for camera. The camera, you can find yourself somewhere strategic. We need to have evidence that the PS in the ministry signed a call that volunteers made. And so we will be happy going home that Kenya has actually taken their place in this. And we also have the UN agencies led, and we have major players like VSO in the sector. Thank you. Yes, this will be signed after those. Oh, the DG, please sign. Okay. UN is world government. Thank you. Okay. Madam Ambassador, kindly. Yes. At least we know China in Kenya is supporting volunteerism. And Chairman Joe, Safaricom Foundation, you will follow after the ambassador to also know and give me comfort that corporate are willing to support this call in Kenya. Thank you. Yeah, volunteer will sign because they said they are committed. Thank you. Can we have the chairman, Safaricom, and then Anao, who is our host within the UNEA space? And we thank the UNEA organizing team for accepting this event to be part of your events. I know you have many events, and this is respect to volunteers and respect to the commitment they have as a Kenyan team. So we continue to thank the UNEA 7, and we continue to thank Anao for taking lead for us. The volunteers should be cheering by now that Safaricom Foundation is actually pending signature. Yes, I will sign. There is more here. I will sign on behalf. Can somebody bring this one to this other side? I will need Aileen. Thank you. Can you bring it on this other side? Thank you. Here. Yes. Thank you. I just want two more people. Dr. Patricia, kindly come. Yes, just, oh, it is too high. Yeah, just the signature. We just need to sign on behalf of our member organization. Joe, did you sign? Kenya Red Cross cannot miss to sign. His Excellency, the Deputy Ambassador for Burundi, kindly, have you signed? Kindly come. Tell us that Burundi in Kenya is supporting volunteerism. And Emily, on behalf of the Ministry of Youth Affairs, youth are actually the 90% of the volunteers organizations are engaging. And kindly let's, okay. I want us to wind up this because we still have two very key or three, then we are winding up. So after this, we need to just sit. I want to, okay, thank you. Let the two just sign, and then we will have also volunteers signing these boards. Thank you. Emily is signing on behalf of the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Digital Economy, and Sports. Yes. Bwana Joe? Oh, you have already signed. Okay. Deputy Ambassador can sign. I can see the RC is on his way. Can you allow me to just appreciate you one more time? as you and the PS will be leaving us and we go back. So everybody can go back to the seat. Can everybody go back to the seat? I just want to appreciate RC and the PS as they both leave the occasion. Buona PS, thank you for giving us the honor to host you this day. And Buona RC, thank you very much for giving us this honor. I thank you very much. Next year we meet here again. RC, call us whenever you feel like volunteering. Madam Ambassador, you take our greetings to the Chinese people and tell them we welcome more volunteers from China. One of your deputy ministers, Minister Shao, was here last year and told us there are 270 million volunteers in China. Kenya yote, we are only 50 or about 60 million. So we can all come and volunteer in China. Thank you very much. And welcome once again. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring to you the 2 or 3 speakers who will help us contextualize what has been happening, including the launch, and how partners will help us move forward as volunteers. Partners from the corporates, partners from the organizations, how will they heed to this call? It is important they are speaking after this call has been given. So we want to listen carefully and know that how do corporate want to work with us as volunteer organization, as government ministries that are aligned to actually move forward to this. And on stage, I want to bring Done Cameron, who is co-CEO, global co-CEO for VSO. And when I first joined this, just come, they used to call themselves VSO Jitole. Then they moved to VSO Kenya. And now I am not sure what it is, but I know VSO is still there. So the other word after that, Done will tell us. Do you want digital? 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 Analog? Analog is not working for Done. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, to follow the PS and the launch of International Volunteering Year is a real honor. So thank you so much to everybody. Most of our guests have left, but nevertheless, I respectfully stand on protocol that has already been observed. And of course, our most important guests today are the volunteers themselves. So just a huge, huge, huge shout out and thank you to all of you who are here. And in particular, actually, to Ramsey and Stella for sharing your stories with us. It took me back about 30 years to when I first did my young adult volunteering. It was the mid-90s in South Africa. Nelson Mandela had just become the president. We were I get chills even thinking about it now. We had just begun our transition to democracy as a country. And my experience of volunteering there was around social development, peace building, reconciliation. And it was that experience that taught me the transformative power of volunteering. And I've been in the volunteering game for 30 years since then, promoting, equipping, and encouraging people of all ages, but young people especially, to learn what it is to give and to find purpose, as Ramsey well said. Thank you to both of you for sharing your stories. I'm going to speak a little bit now from a VSO perspective. Here in Kenya, we are still VSO Kenya. Globally, we are VSO. I'll talk about that in just a second. Such a joy and honor to join you because this is a moment, and the International Year of Volunteering will be a whole lot of moments where the world recognizes something extraordinary, the power of people who step forward to create a fairer world for everyone. At VSO, we stand on a simple belief. Real change starts when people make the choice to act. And when volunteers then spark that same choice in other people, then courage is awakened, trust grows, connection is deepened, and whole communities begin to transform. This belief sits at the heart of VSO's renewed identity and purpose as we move into 2026. Today, we proudly say, VSO now stands for Volunteers Spark Others. This reflects how our work has evolved from a past and an organization where we sent volunteers to other countries to the present, where VSO acts as a catalyst for volunteering within local communities, unleashing and equipping people to claim the confidence, the voice, and the agency that is an expression of their lived experience, their local leadership, and the deep commitment they have to make lasting, meaningful change from within their own communities and societies. We celebrate today alongside strong and valued partners, including the Africa Union, with whom we are advancing inclusive volunteering and the unstoppable momentum of youth leadership across the continent. At the launch of the Africa Union's recent report on volunteerism in Africa, volunteering was described as Africa's quiet revolution, a revolution powered not by budgets, but by people who choose to act. Africa is not waiting upon others to make us strong and prosperous and just. We are owning it and creating it through our most valuable and powerful resource, our people, and their willingness to shape their own vision of the future. VSO is proud to be working with the AU and with governments across the continent to advance inclusion, resilience, and social accountability through volunteering. And we celebrate with the United Nations Volunteers Program, whose State of the World Volunteerism Report remains the authoritative global piece of evidence on the contributions of volunteers to peace, development, and human dignity. VSO is honored to contribute and continue contributing to this report through partnerships with communities, which ensure that those communities help shape, review, and validate the programs designed to benefit them. We come together here today at a time when our world and many societies are under some real strain. Trust is breaking down, inequality and polarization are rising, climate shocks are deepening the challenges that our communities face. And yet, in the midst of all of that, wherever volunteers step forward, stand in solidarity alongside those who are vulnerable or marginalized, raise their voices, take action, we witness something powerful and consistent, that people reconnect with one another, that communities heal, that services strengthen, and that hope rises again. Volunteers accelerate progress across all of the Sustainable Development Goals every day, in classrooms, in clinics, on farms, in youth groups, in parliaments, and in community halls. Here in Kenya, as an example, 50 dedicated volunteers who were part of VSO's Waste to Work program transformed the lives of over 4,000 waste pickers by equipping them with new skills, organizing them into viable business enterprises, linking them to markets within the broader waste value chain. This has led to a safer work environment, new opportunities for decent jobs, increased income, and the ability for families to live with dignity. But those volunteers also inspired leadership and action amongst the young waste pickers themselves, unlocking the confidence and skills to speak up and to take action in addressing the range of challenges facing their communities, becoming volunteers themselves, active agents of the change needed. And so the spark becomes a flame, lighting up new pathways of change. As we move into the International Volunteers Year, VSO is guided by a commitment to ignite a global wave of volunteering, an invitation to governments, partners, youth, and communities to join a movement powered by human connection. Here in Kenya, we are proud to be one of the founders of the VIO, Volunteer Involving Organizations Network. VSO will continue to work closely with the network and with the Department of Social Protection to ensure that the legal framework for volunteerism is set in place. We will also continue to partner with the many agencies, departments, corporates to embrace the global standard on volunteering, and we will support a community development management information system that will help us account in this country for all the amazing volunteers and their networks. Across Africa, we call on governments, civil society organizations, and the private sector to recognize and support the essential contribution of volunteers to create the policies, practices, to foster the spaces that will catalyze an unstoppable movement of volunteering spirit and action, of Ubuntu, where I am from, across the continent. And today, of course, we honor volunteers, the world's connectors. You rebuild trust, you open doors, you widen the circle of inclusion. Your courage, your empathy, your leadership, these are not small acts, they are sparks. You spark confidence, you spark dignity, you spark transformation. When volunteers spark others, the fire of change spreads. When people choose to act, hope multiplies. And when we act together, no one ever need stand alone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Donnie. We believe in VSO, and rightly put it, VIO Society Kenya was founded from VSO Kenya, Red Cross. There was Ufadhili Trust then, and George, who else? A few, but there has been growth, yes, and Hope Worldwide Kenya, among others, but there has been growth. We are now more than 40 organizations, both grassroots, national and international. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring on stage the representative of the corporate. And some of you, and even Chair himself, may not know. When you became our keynote speaker, sometimes back in 2019, during the Good Deeds Day Africa Regional Conference at the Kenya Red Cross offices in Nairobi, you made a big challenge to most of our Good Deeds Day country leaders across more than that time. We were about 30 countries. And I just didn't carry evidence. But if time had allowed me, I would have carried evidence, because you sparked something that made some other young people in the volunteering space in their countries took seriously. And this year we convened about 42 countries in Zimbabwe. And some of the examples that were given to us when we were comparing notes were things that we referred to the report we had put in the report of your speech that went to all of the participants. And this year, you probably might have seen our report or might not. We worked with you, Safaricom Foundation, Cape Media, FedEx Kenya, and Renegade Air in the Good Deeds Day environmental program between April and October. We managed to do about, by the time I shared the report to the ministry, we were at 21,860 trees, both in Nairobi and mangrove restoration in the coastal region. But up to yesterday, we have already reached about 25,000. And this is courtesy of the support Safaricom Foundation gave, Renegade Air, Cape Media, and FedEx. Today, we have other corporates following, like Afriventia is here, who has supported this event to a certain extent. And we want to continue asking you not to forget when you are calculating your budget, don't forget volunteers, Mr. Chair. And now, ladies and gentlemen, give me Parliament, 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 Parliament. I know you are waiting for me to say analog. This Safaricom is never analog. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much, Meshach, for your kind words. And Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have had a lot of speeches and I'm going to be very, very brief. First of all, what an honor it is to be here and to be part of this launch of the International Year of Volunteers for Sustainable Development. But let me say at the very outset that the spirit and the practice of volunteerism is alive and well in this country. I know we've said that we're losing something. Yes, people have become a little commercial, but the spirit and the practice remains alive and we can ride on that. And for me, probably the best example of volunteerism is the community health volunteers, whom we now call community health promoters. We work with them across the country with our partners, AMREF Health Africa, who train them. And our involvement with them is in the area of maternal and child health. You know the statistics, we lose on average about 350 women for every 100,000 live births, which is unacceptable. It's really high. When you go to the specific counties, like one we're working on, we're in Narok yesterday, about 500 to 600 women that are dying at the point of giving birth out of every 100,000 live births, which is not acceptable. But working with AMREF Health Africa, who have been able to train them, and they support women who are pregnant, antenatal, to attend clinics. And I can tell you in Lamu, working with them over the last 3 years, these statistics have substantially improved from over 500 deaths, maternal deaths, currently to under 300 and going down. In Homa Bay, the same thing. So even though they're paid a little amount, they essentially are volunteers. And for me, they really speak about the power of volunteerism in this country. Let me just give the examples, 2 or 3, and then we've had too many speeches and I'll be done. What are we doing in Safaricom? First, we offer our staff 5 days every year, which are not included in their annual leave. 5 days every year where they go out, they work with communities, or they can contribute that time in the foundation projects and so on. And this has become extremely popular among our staff. Secondly, we also do what we call a Pamoja. Pamoja means together. So we have that initiative where our staff can identify a project in their communities, and Safaricom Foundation will support them up to 1 million shillings. The community and our staff have to offer just 10%. And we've seen that our people, our staff, who have become great ambassadors of volunteerism. They go out and they work with these communities. It could be a classroom. It could be just a public health issues. And we've seen what they're able to contribute. And I'm saying this because on behalf of the private sector, this is possible and this is doable. Thirdly, we had a program known as World of Difference. And World of Difference, we allowed our staff to volunteer their skills and their time, and would attach them for up to 3 months to be able to work with community-based organizations, using their skills to improve processes, to improve procedures, and so on and so forth. One example, and I see a gentleman from Kenya Red Cross, my namesake, Joe. By the way, I'm only wearing this suit because after this, I'm heading to Kenya Red Cross for their 60th anniversary. They are our great partners. We've done so much with Kenya Red Cross. It will take another seminar for us to share that. So this has been a world of difference. At Kenya Red Cross, when they were starting the ambulance services, one of our staff went there to volunteer her time and her skills. Eventually, actually, she left us to join the ambulance program that was being started, to run it as a CEO. I think she has left since. Yeah, but there's an opportunity for our staff in the private sector to go out, to use their skill sets, to use their time to be able to bring up to speed some of these community-based organizations in terms of their processes and procedures. Fourthly, we bring associates and interns into the foundation, and they go out with us for 12 months. They go out with us in their communities, because most of our projects, we work with partners. We work with partners, and the people in the rural areas, we sit with them and we co-create solutions to some of their societal challenges and needs. And finally, our staff, particularly the sales teams, they play a very key role in identifying the needs in this particular society. So as they go on with their business of selling airtime, or meeting business people and so on, they also identify societal needs. And this has worked extremely well for us. So that, in summary, is basically saying that as private sector, we have opportunities to encourage people to volunteer of their time, to volunteer of their skills, so that we can make a difference in the lives of our people. I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you so much. Safaricom Twaweza. I know that is your slogan. So thank you so much for the great work that you are doing. We're almost coming to the end. I would want to call Esther Maina, the representative for the Principal Secretary for Ministry of Youth. As we do that, when she's done, we will want to have a photo session, and then we'll be done for the day as we move to Karura to go and translate this into action.
My name is Emily Maina, not Esther Maina. All protocols observed. Good afternoon. I am here to represent the PS State Department for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy. As you may be aware, he's the youngest PS in the country. He has great passion for youth. And the spirit of volunteerism is something that should be taken to the highest level. And before I continue, I came with a strong team from the State Department for Youth Affairs. Kindly stand up and wave. You can see the numbers, This is a reflection of the passion we are talking about. Thank you very much. In the executive order that had something to do with volunteerism, we took up that with a great spirit, and we have been working very closely with the State Department of Labor and Social Protection. And there is also a policy that we are working together on that. And even the extent to which that we have worked together, I want to give a testimony of some activity we did with one of our partners called Africa. County Director's Mama Wave. Just this week, we went to Mwingi North. There is a maternity wing that was being opened. And this is after a challenge that was given to that community to do a volunteerism assignment, which happened in a record 3 months. And as we were sitting there, we were told that that particular activity, the community was supposed to contribute 10%. But because of that drive, they contributed 30%. It was successful within a record 3 months. What was most spectacular about that assignment is a volunteer. There is a volunteer who has been there for the last 6 months. And when he got to that community, he mobilized the community to identify the need they have for that particular community. And they were very clear in their minds that they wanted that maternity wing to ensure that mortality is improved among the mothers and the young people. And as a State Department of Youth Affairs and Creative Economy that empowers the young people, we are very happy and we very much identify with this spirit where every action matters. We happen to have the highest population of Kenya because we have the 75%. And when we pacify these young people, when we build the positive mindset, we are able to achieve as much as possible. And that is why we are here, to be part of this particular activity, because we believe the volunteerism spirit is the one that is going to drive this country to the best level. Remember, our president is currently talking about moving to the first world. And that first world, we'll be able to get it when we put our mind there. I was very happy with the young girl who was giving her testimony. And if you heard the way she was talking, this is a person who has not gotten an opportunity to work somewhere. But when she approached Core Africa, she got an opportunity. And even if she was taken to any part of this world, she can be able to represent the young people. So this volunteerism spirit is something that we vote for as a State Department, and our PS in particular is very happy to be identified with this, and we shall work together. Asante sana.
I'm asking her, which one do you want? Digital, now that you work with the youth. And the youth usually say, kama si sasa, ni sasa hivi. Are you able to translate that in English? If it is now, oh, if it's if it's not now, it is right now. Kama si sasa, ni sasa hivi. So let's give her the digital. Yes, thank you so much. So we are coming to the end of this. I'll want to request our guests, our distinguished guests, to come to the front so that we are able to do a photo. Madam Lucy. Representation from the government, from the private sector, the VIO. We will take a photo. All of us will take this photo, but we are taking it in stages. Government. So then let's
On video, you can.
Let's have the National Planning Committee members.
The planning committee kindly come.
What to leave? Okay. After the planning, no. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, this side cameras on the podium so that we can all find our faces on that great photo. Yes, you never know, that photo may take you places. Just make sure you are in that photo. Yeah? Thank you. Where is she? Oh. Okay. Let all stand. Let all stand. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, give us, do we do this? If you're holding this, please carry it up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sasa hivi. Excited. Throw them up. One. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to, hello? 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 I want us to wind up. And as we wind up, I want to call Madam Emily Kimosop on stage to just say a word of thank you to all our partners and everybody who has played a role on this until this day, and also tell us if the planning committee is still having their job or you have sacked everyone. We will want to hear. Emily is also the person who coordinates the volunteerism at the ministry. So Emily, kindly come on stage and give a vote of thanks and tell us if the committee have no job anymore or there is still some work we can rely on going forward?
I want to, this afternoon, thank you all. And I want to reflect on the journey that we started this, I think from July, when we had our first meeting with the UN. And, you know, when you're planning and beginning to conceptualize, then you are not very clear where you are going. But today's event is a testimony of the journey that we've gone, the planning that has gone in, the thoughts that we've shared, the whole partners that constituted the National Planning Committee, right from government agencies that were represented, the Ministry of Youth, the Skills Development, President's Award, our State Department, various departments, we really appreciate. Academia represented by the University of Nairobi and QUARE, we appreciate you so much. The VIO Society, at the VIO network, I'm not even able to mention all of them. We have the quite a number of them that please allow me not to mention their names, but you can see them at the backdrop banner. We also have a private sector represented by Safaricom Foundation. We had civil society, and our thoughts in that committee, you know, what is happening today is just a reflection of the planning that has gone in. I want also to sincerely thank the technical assistance from the UNV. Thank you so much for the resources that came in. This event would not be successful without the support of resources. The support of ANAO. I'm not able to mention what it is in full, but there is an animal somewhere. African Network for Animal Welfare. Thank you so much. We are in this event courtesy of ANAO. They are the ones who sponsored this venue, and we sincerely appreciate. We have our partner Prevention, which came through to us, and they are largely supporting the outdoor event. We sincerely appreciate. VSO, you are great. You've journeyed with us. The successes we register in government, the issues of the policy. Now we are developing a robust policy on national volunteerism, and courtesy of resources. VSO helped us to kick off, to launch our National Planning Committee, and also to just sponsor some of the workshops. I sincerely thank you. For the guests that have spoken, for the guests that have inspired us, we thank you. Right from Safaricom Foundation, Kenya Red Cross, which in most cases gives us a mix of, you know, joy and sadness at the same time. I've participated in as a judge in the selection for Boy Awards for Red Cross. And sometimes some of the cases that come in are very touching. And I remember we rewarded one posthumously, one that was affected by the Al-Shabaab issue at the north. It's very touching. And I even recall in the last Boy, I think you both cried because of the lives that have been lost in the line of duty in the name of volunteerism. I sincerely thank all of you. We have the National Volunteerism Planning Committee in place. This is our first deliverable, but we are moving forward. Remember, our assignment is to, one of it was that the first milestone was the global launch. The second, we have a myriad of build-up events. And we are expanding this family. So we will not bang on the national committee. I hope this is our commitment. that we are expanding our thoughts to have build-up events. We have a call for action that the volunteers has given us, and let's take the challenge, innovate around the calls that our volunteers have given us. And we look forward to 2026 December, where we'll work, all of us. And I'm looking at Dr. Lynette, and we are challenging us that even can we go to New York, having registered milestones, and doing a side event for Kenya, so that bringing other countries with us, picking lessons. And one of the things that we are thinking through is also having just a national conference that will bring all sectors so that out of that we pick lessons, leverage on the lessons, come up with our recommendation and call so that we expand volunteerism. I think I don't want to speak so much, but I think from our desk as State Department, I recall one day when we were with, yes, I recall, and we were being challenged by our peers to make sure that we, expand volunteerism, and we have that commitment. I think my duty was to thank all of you. Thank you so much, and welcome you to the outdoor event. Asanteni.
Thank you, Madam Emily. Thank you very much. We have worked very well. On behalf of the VIO Society and partners to the government of the Republic of Kenya, we also make our commitment, and we want to thank everybody, especially the volunteers, for the work they are doing out there. Our member organizations and those who are willing to join the team, the VIO, you're welcome, and we still hope to work on this together. The team who are translating the language, please rise up. Please rise up. This team is amazing. And aren't they? They are amazing. Thank you very much. Take your flowers and influence more. This is the work we are doing. We recruit, we skill, we equip, we deploy, and then they do the work as they develop the soft skills, they develop leadership, and once they have the leadership, they influence others of their age group to join the space. And within a short time, the volunteer space grow and numbers grow. From the VIO Society, our call for all the partners here, including government, are just three things. Let us recognize volunteerism as a cross-cutting means of implementing global development agenda. And when we recognize, we will see the need to put support and investment, support volunteerism. And when you recognize and support something and put investment in it, it will be your duty to safeguard that thing. I am sure anybody who has a business that is giving them profit usually safeguard. Anytime in the evening, you cannot go home and only remember at home that you didn't close the door of your shop. You can't, because you know the kind of investment you have put in it. As a country, we need support, we need recognition, and we need safeguarding of volunteerism and the space. May the Lord bless us. As we come, volunteers, we need you to sign. There is these boards. Everybody who did not sign with leaders, we want you to find time and sign those boards and let us know that your signature is there as a volunteer, making commitments that if tomorrow chairman supports us again, we will do 150,000 trees. Sign there so that it is known that volunteers are still willing to do this. And now, thank you very much. But finally, there is an event, an outdoor event for all the volunteers and even leaders. We knew with the accreditation process, it was not going to be possible for every volunteer out there to be part of this event. So as a committee, we agreed to have an outdoor event in the afternoon that can bring all volunteers from the community and all our organizations. So that event is going to happen right after this. There are snacks for volunteers, and after that, they are going into Karura Forest. And Karura, please rise up. We have the partner. Karura, welcome us anytime. This is an amazing team because we approached them very late. We approached them very late, and I have to say they gave us a lot of respect as volunteer community. We will continue to come to Karura anytime. So they are going to host the volunteers in the afternoon, and all of you are welcome to that space, except those who probably have got some serious businesses elsewhere. But I am sure some of our leaders will even accompany the volunteers into Karura. So as the DJ or the team, as you play for us the video, the global video, I will be requesting anyone who is willing to come and sign to continue signing as others also see what is happening in that global video. And for that, I want to say our event is ending at that point, unless there is something I forgot. I'm also running to the Red Cross for their event where they are marking 60 years. 60 years, hata mimi sijafika. Red Cross wamefika. So I need to see how 60 years looks like. May God bless you. Kevin.
I just wanted to share that we, Meshach may have forgotten to mention, but we also had participants online on YouTube and on our social media who are following the session. And some of them shared also some of their sentiments about what they will do in 2026. And maybe after the video, if there's some time as you're taking some snacks, we'll be popping their sentiments on the screen. And also you can join. It's basically on a platform called Menti. Yeah, so I'll hand over the microphone back to him because unless he's the one who has to close this, not me. Meshach, come back.
Thank you. For the Karura, there is gate A and D. So which gate are they using? Come. And there are many volunteers waiting out there, those who are not able to join us here. So don't think it is just you. Many are out there at the gate, so you can.
Good afternoon. May I also take this opportunity to welcome you to Karura. Karura is just within the neighborhood. And for those who will not be driving and those who drive not to drive, they are going to use Gate D. Gate D is just next to ICRAF. Mnajua ICRAF? There is a pedestrian gate there. You just get in. Remember, there you don't have a parking, so don't drive there. The other gate is via the Muru Road, just opposite Belgium Embassy. That's where I call Gate A. Rather, that's also where we have our offices. There you are able to drive even 1 kilometer inside. You are going to have that event at what we call Amani Garden. Anybody who has been to Amani Gardens? Yeah, let's guide the others. It's a nice place to be. Thank you.
Thank you for the team, media team. Please, thank you very much. You've done a great job. I have seen some telling us they are watching from home and across the continent because we shared with our neighbors, neighboring countries and other African countries. Thank you very much. This is the time where you now need to know people to get the photos. And if you know, you know. So you will get them when you get to know people. Thank you. May God bless everyone. Watu wa iPhone mumechukua mapicha mzuri.
This lady had been sitting in front of our office. She was sitting there with her child. She was starving. I realized that all she wanted was someone to actually